Okay, everybody, we're going to do tables, and in order to do tables, we need to do text. Tables are a lot in InDesign are a lot like tables in Word or in Excel, but we're going to do them InDesign style. So we're just going to grab a text tool and create a text container just like we would when we're creating text. And in that text table, that container, we can go underneath Table, Insert Table. And in here we can say, okay, I would like to insert how many rows, how many columns, how many header rows. So if we do one header row, 3 rows, 2 columns, let's 3 rows, 3 columns, like that. And say, okay, we now have a table inside our Word doc, our text area. So let's go ahead and do some things here. Let's say Adobe, and I hit tab to get to the next tab, into the next column. Design. Tab again. Photoshop, and so on and so forth. So we can create, instead of doing tabs, we can do tables. Now, let's zoom in on this a little bit, and you can see that we have the table. And notice if I have the move tool, if I go to move this, what it does is it just moves. So if we want to adjust this table, which is totally possible, we need to double click or grab the text tool and then highlight the stuff. And we don't even have to highlight it. Once it's in the text tool, you can grab it and see it on the lines here, and you can move everything around, and it will move things out. And we can do more. Type, tab, tab, and so on. So tables on their basic form are extremely easy to do in InDesign. So now let's take a look at what we can do to make them even more fun. Okay, now I've got a set of text that's in here already tabbed that you might already have existing. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight that text, and we're going to go to Table and Convert Text to Table. And it's going to find out where the tabs are set up in this text, and it's going to convert all the tabs to rows. So now we have all this stuff set up, and I can move these columns, I can do all this stuff. If I hold down the Shift key and grab the columns, it will move the columns separately and not move the whole piece like we have seen already. And if I want, I can come in here and select this whole column, because it's added a column that we really don't care if we have or not. It's just empty, and we can go up to Table, and we can go to Delete Column. So changing this is going to be so easy, and a great way to set up your stuff. Now, if you're looking at tables, you can see that all this information is going to run together pretty quickly. So let's highlight this table, and let's go up underneath Table, and let's go to Table Options and do to Alternating Fills. And in here we can say, okay, we would like, and make sure you turn on the stupid preview button, and we're going to go to Fills, and we're going to say Alternating Pattern every other row, and we can say please change that to blue 20%, and if you can take a look, boom, we now have tables already in the colors, and we can tell how much percentage of the color. We can do whatever we want to change this out. So if I grab this and drag it down a little bit, notice what happens when I drag it down too far. It gives us the overflow button so that we know that there is extra text in there. There really isn't extra text, it's just that I brought the table down that far. So we can come in here, we can adjust all this. Also, remember to adjust things inside the table, we must be in the Type tool. Grab that, pull that down, grab the bottom, pull that up. Everything works out just fine. Alright, so now let's say we make a brand new document, and we can file place So we can bring in a Word document, an Excel document. So I'm going to place that Excel document, and there it is. That's an Excel document. You saw they had the Excel extension, and we're just going to double click, highlight, and table convert text to table. Voila. There we go. So if I hold the shift key, we can move these things around, and this is just the same example I had before. I'm going to highlight that, and table, delete column, highlight the column, table, delete column, and stretch that out a little bit right there. Hold the shift key down, grab the center piece and move it over, and look at that. Nicely done. Works really easy. We can just keep moving things around, figure out what we want to do here, and life is good. Okay, just as we were able to delete columns or rows, we can come in here and we can add. So insert row and below or above. So let's say add 2 rows below, and we're all set there. Now we can put things in. We can also do add a column. So if we click in here and table, insert column, and if we want to go left or right, how many we want to do. And as I showed you before, we could delete the columns. We could either come in here, we can highlight the whole column like this, and table, delete column, or we can come down here and instead of highlighting the whole row, come out to the side, click on the end so that it's highlighted like that, table, delete row. Very nice. Excellent way to do these. Okay, let's take a look at some of the things we can do inside the table. If I take this top header row and I make this taller so that I have the header row, I can select that row and it'll automatically change my control panel up top to know that we are now into tables. We can align center up and down. We can also tell it that we want it to align center side to side, and this helps out a lot. So as we move these tables around, you can adjust things and say, okay, I would like them all to be centered up, top, and bottom. And then we can also, you can just take a row and say you'd like it to be centered side to side, or we can take the entire thing, highlight the entire situation, and do that. So we have a ton of control over what we've got going on in here. Now you might say that we might have a row that you want a new head or subhead or something like that, so we might say November. And I want this to be a break area, so I can highlight all these rows. All these columns are going across in the row, and we can go to table and merge cells, and it will merge everything, and now we can have, as a matter of fact, let's merge the whole thing, and we now have a break right there, and we can put in whatever we want. Now if we want, we can highlight this top row, and we can say I would like table options and alternating rows, optimating column strokes, and strokes and fills. Here we go. So let's go to strokes and fills, and we can say I would like to fill. You can do text, and here we can do the alignment just like we did up top. Align center. We can do left and right margins in the cells. strokes and fills. So let's say cell stroke. We can tell it to change the stroke color. And notice the little diagram inside here we can turn off, so we can say I don't want the top and the sides red. I would like just that one line red. And we can tell sides none, top none, sides none, and hit OK. And when we preview this, you can see that only the insides are red. And so we'll just highlight that again, and we'll go back to table, cell options, strokes and fills, and pick that, do none. And you can see where we have this. We'll highlight that again, table, table options, and fills, and custom let's just say every other row, and voila. You have a nice looking table. We're starting to really get it organized. We're starting to get a style going to it, and things look pretty good.